Here is a pre-processing step almost nobody talks about, yet it quietly decides whether your whole retrieval system works or falls apart. Before you can search your documents, you have to break them into pieces. Sounds trivial, right? Just cut the text up. But how big should each piece be? And where exactly do you make the cut? Get those answers wrong, and even a perfect retriever will hand your model useless context. This is chunking, and it deserves real attention. Let's dig in. First, let's see why we bother splitting documents at all. Suppose you embed an entire document as one single vector. All of its many topics get averaged together into a blurry smear of meaning, so it matches queries poorly. And when it does match, you retrieve the whole book when only one paragraph was ever relevant, drowning the model in noise. Chunking splits the document into smaller, coherent pieces first, then embeds each one on its own. Now every piece has a focused meaning, so retrieval can pull back exactly the paragraph that answers the question and nothing more. You search and retrieve at the right level of detail. So how do we actually turn a long document into good chunks? Follow the pipeline one block at a time. Start with a long document, maybe a report, a manual, or a web page. As one giant blob, it is useless to a retriever. Our whole job is to carve it into pieces that are each small enough to be precise, yet whole enough to still make sense. Now we split it into smaller pieces. The classic move is fixed-size chunks of a few hundred tokens each. Smarter strategies cut along the document's own structure, its paragraphs, headings, and sentences, or even split by meaning where the topic actually shifts. Here is a subtle but crucial touch. We let neighboring chunks overlap a little, sharing some text at their edges. That way, if a single idea happens to fall right on a boundary, it is not sliced in half and lost. Each side keeps enough to stay understandable. Finally, each chunk is embedded into its own vector and stored in the index, ready for retrieval. From here on, chunks are the unit the whole system works with, which is why the choices we just made ripple through everything downstream. Strip it down, and 3 ideas define good chunking. It splits documents into retrievable pieces. Rather than one giant vector per document, you get many focus vectors, so the retriever can surface the precise passage a question needs instead of an entire file. It balances a real tension. Chunks that are too large blend many topics and dilute the embedding, while chunks that are too small lose the surrounding context they need to make sense. The craft is finding the middle. It uses overlap and structure to keep ideas intact. A little shared text across boundaries stops thoughts from being cut in half, and splitting along headings or meaning keeps each chunk about one single thing. All right, let's lock in the essentials. Chunking splits your documents into smaller pieces before embedding and indexing, and that quiet choice heavily decides whether retrieval actually works. The central tension is size. Too large, and the embedding blurs across topics. Too small, and each piece loses the context it needs to be understood. Common tactics are fixed-size chunks with a little overlap, and smarter splitting that respects paragraphs, headings, or shifts in meaning. Retrieval quality is capped by chunking, since a badly cut answer can never be surfaced cleanly. If you like seeing the hidden gears of AI laid bare, come dig into more over at Standarity.com. See you there.